Warriors, my friends, my extended family, welcome to another important video. Before I get into it, I want you to know that the Health Anxiety program is now out. You can start your 12-week journey over health anxiety right here. And my friends, in this video today, we're going to go deep. We're going to go deep because we have to feel like we are going deep. We have to feel like we are challenged mentally, emotionally, behaviorally, in order for us to meet with long-term healing. Today, we are going to get clear that anxiety is related to the inner child, subconscious mind's perceptions, generational traumas, but not identity. That's right. I remember for many, many years, I was carrying around my diagnosis. I was carrying around panic disorder, carrying around generalized anxiety, carrying around hypochondria. Unconsciously, I always checked in with this identity no matter what I was doing. Was it okay to speak to a stranger? Was it okay to take on a new job? Was it okay to be creative? And the answer was always no. Because that inner child within us doesn't want us to step out of our comfort zones. And our comfort zones are ways of thinking, emotional states, behaviors, the current use of our imagination. That inner child wants to protect so very deeply that it brings out anxiety symptoms out of nowhere and makes sure that we don't feel unsafe and overwhelmed once again. Today, I want to discuss your leftovers. Let me paint a picture for you. You just had lunch. And after you finished lunch, there were a lot of leftovers there. You couldn't finish all of your lunch. But those leftovers didn't get put in the fridge or in the garbage. They just stood out in the table. And as those leftovers were on the table for days, weeks, months, years, what starts to happen? They mold, they rot, they have a smell to them, and most importantly, those leftovers affect the entire environment. Not only the living room, but in the bedroom, the bathroom. Your leftovers are affecting your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, yes, your spiritual body. What are leftovers? Leftovers are guilt, blame, rage, fear, broken relationships, parents' beliefs. All of this information, all of these feelings and emotions based on previous experiences and information coming from other people. These are leftovers, and they're affecting you more than you realize as you're going through the day. Leftovers lead to behavioral addictions. When we talk about addictions, I'm not talking about substance-related addictions. I'm talking about behavioral addictions. I'm talking about ways of thinking. Yes, you can be addicted to fear. You can be addicted to suffering. You can be addicted to always speaking in pessimistic ways in order to achieve something you never had before. These are all addictions that we must bring to our awareness. Comment below right now if you recognize an addiction within you that you need to stop. Leftovers create conflict and a lack of congruence between the head and the heart. You know what healing anxiety really is? Healing anxiety is when you have congruence, when you have a partnership in your head and in your heart. Your head says, hey, you know what? We can change our lives. And your heart says, Yeah, that's very much true. But many times, for example, we use affirmations at a head level, and we say, we are healing, we are healing, we are healing. But our heart says, no, 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 we are not healing. So there's an incongruence there. And when we begin putting aside our leftovers, healing those leftovers, there's a partnership, a beautiful partnership. Do you feel that partnership arising within you? Is your head and your heart working in congruence together to meet with an ultimate goal that you deserve? Inner peace. What we need to understand is that we must stop prostituting ourselves out to a way of living that we never chose. I need to say that again. We must stop prostituting ourselves out to a way of living that we never chose. We think that the way we think is brought on by us. We think that it is us. It's not us. We think that what we do, our behaviors, is us. But at the deepest levels, it is not us. This is very, very important. Now, what can we do for these leftovers? These leftovers connected to rage because of your ex-girlfriend dumping you when you were a teen, and you taking out your rage on other people, maybe other women, other men. What can we do about the fear and the overwhelm that we felt when our parents were emotionally, maybe even physically abusing us? What can we do about these things? Well, here's what we need to do. Number one, recognize your leftovers. Comment below. Tell me, be honest. Can you recognize your leftovers? I mean, so much of what we believe our anxiety is situational. It's the coworker, it's the job, it's the financial pressures, it's this, it's that, it's everything in the present moment. But it's not. These are leftovers playing out in the present moment. So step one is recognize your leftovers. And to do this, you have to be brutally honest with yourselves. And many times, you cannot overthink what your leftovers are. Yes, you can place the intention. Yes, you can meditate on the idea. And that intuitive voice will in fact speak to you. Step two is notice how they arise. You know, there's always a step-by-step progression of when our leftovers arise. For me, it was the fear of being criticized, the fear of not connecting with other people. So step one was always trying to avoid conflict. And the more I avoided conflict, the more conflict came into my life. I began realizing that. And the first thing I did was I felt it in my stomach. I felt that tightness. When I felt that tightness in my stomach, I began to breathe in a shallow manner. And then I started to backtrack. I started to apologize to everybody for what I did, when in fact, it had nothing to do with me many times. So notice how your leftovers arise. Notice, step by step, what happens. The end result is the rage. The end result is the fear. But what happens in the beginning that leads to that moment? Step three is notice what motivates them to survive. This is so important. When you can recognize the deep motivation coming from the inner child's subconscious mind to keep these negative feelings and emotions alive, you will take a massive step towards your healing of anxiety. There is a motivation there. Why? Why must I continue to be filled with rage? Well, if you're filled with rage, then you'll never place yourself in a vulnerable situation ever again. Inner child voice. There's a reason for every feeling, a reason for every emotion that you feel, positive and negative. The problem is we have way too many negative emotions that allow the inner child to feel like we can take action. When we have positive emotions, we are very present. When we have negative emotions, what tends to happen is we are living in the present based on our past. Therefore, we are creating a future based on what took place in the past. These are very important principles to understand. Step one, when it comes to your emotional leftovers, recognize your leftovers. Step two, notice how they arise. Step three, notice what motivates them to survive. My friends, we are going deep here. We are understanding our anxiety at the deepest levels. We are not just placing band-aids on what's taking place right now. We are not thinking positively. We are not motivating ourselves each and every day. Kind of like taking a shower, getting dirty again and having to take that shower once again. No. We are not placing band-aids on our healing. We are doing the very things that make us feel vulnerable and slightly confused. If you feel slightly confused around any part of this journey, good. Keep going because you're being challenged. My friends, understand this language. When you do, you will be brought towards many new challenges that you need to face. And understand this. The greatest pursuit is the one where you find out who you truly are beneath all the old programming and outside conditioning. It's a pursuit. It's a path worth walking each and every day. I will show you that path. And if you walk with me, I promise that in time, you will get to know who you truly are. Because what we're doing here is we are not healing anxiety directly. We are getting to know the real you, the true you, and in turn, healing anxiety naturally. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. Please give a like for this video and share this YouTube channel with someone or a group or a forum that needs it. Let's help more people become more than anxiety. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.